and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the Motor City, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the Motor City, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Oh. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.
All right, I was muted there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Spike Kool-Aid for Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. Still sucks, right? The loss from Sunday still sucks, but we got to get over it, though. All right, here we go. Let me see. Let me set this up. Start the... Nope, where we at? Stopwatch and go. All right. So it was a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about yesterday. I wanted to get on yesterday, but I did not have the time. I ran out of time. But we got to talk about it, man. CJ Gardner-Johnson, we knew he was injured when we got on before, but later Monday night, we found out that it was a torn pectoral. So we're going to get right into this thing today. All right. Let me move this over here because it's acting dumb. We'll go over here. All right. So the Detroit Lions potentially lost. It came out on Monday that CJ Gardner-Johnson had a torn pectoral muscle. Those are season-ending injuries. But according to Dan Campbell today, he said that it was a clean tear. And in the realm of sports, we saw what happened to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb did not have a clean injury. And prayers up to him. He's going to need two surgeries on the same knee he hurt back in 2015. Tough injury. It was tough to watch, tough to see. Player like that go down. And we have a player of our own, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Pectoral muscle, clean tear. Helps it better during the recovery process. There is a chance that CJ Gardner-Johnson could return to the Detroit Lions if they make the playoffs. The reason a lot of these injuries are season ending is because our season is only 4 months. So what would be just a bump in the road kind of in a year is way different in NFL terms. Season ending is 17 games. But how big is the loss that CJ Gardner-Johnson? We found out James Houston. Since we've been on, we found out that James Houston is going to be shelved from 6 to 8. He actually had a broken fibia. It's one of the two bones in the calves, in the shins. I'm sorry, that broke. So his recovery time is 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not sure if that is from cast to on the field, or is that just the time he's going to require in the cast? But CJ Gardner-Johnson, an off chance that he comes back if we make the playoffs, we're going to miss him. We're going to miss CJ GJ. He was the vocal leader in the backfield. He was like the spark that we needed. He was the defensive guy that galvanized this team. Now we don't have him on the field anyway. I'm sure. I don't even know how a surgery on a torn pec goes, how invasive it is. You know what I'm saying? But either way, we're going to miss him. But we have Tracy Walker that's going to be able to step up and do some things. And I'm looking forward to him. You know, he had a tweet yesterday said, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, right? And he's been looking for his opportunity to get back into the lineup. How nervous should we be? How nervous should we be? And this is going to take me eventually until we're going to talk about something in another segment, but how nervous should we be with our players going down, specifically on defense? We've seen the offense go down before. Taylor Decker, Jared Goff got sacked, once, I think. The backup people on the offensive line, aside from Matt Nelson, who's terrible, they did okay. The offensive line didn't really take a huge hit, right? And we don't even know if Taylor Decker's going to be out there this week. But how much trouble are the Detroit Lions in on defense? Their defense is horrible right now. I want to say we are bottom 4 in the league again. And again, we're going to talk about the defense more in a different segment, but how worried should we be with the loss of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, James Houston? Let me know your thoughts. What's up, guys? What is going on, man? Bonzilla, it was a pleasure, my friend, to meet you at the watch party. Donkey Kong is in the building. What's up? What's up, Vash? What is up, Braylon? Nick is in the building. Aaron, what's up, my man? Hunt you says, if we lose any offensive weapons, we're screwed. Yeah, we will miss him, but we have to get over it faster than we lost to Seattle. Braylon says, I'm really nervous. I'm nervous with this defense. More worried about the pass rush. I'm worried. What's up, Hatters? What's going on, man? All right, so I want to talk to y'all, man. We're going to get into it, but we're going to have to talk. And one thing about the season that is so different from, if you think about it, the NFL calendar year, it never stops, right? It never stops. If we took any time off, it would be the month of July. There's nothing happening in the NFL in the month of July. Even the players, the staff, the beat writers are on vacation. I myself am going to start taking vacations in July. Like I tried to keep the content flowing, but I'm going to take a vacation. Like this July 2024, especially with the draft being here in Detroit, we going to take a vacation. I'm telling you right now. As a matter of fact, this show went on hiatus for 2 months? We took a vacation, but I'm even going to take a vacation on Lion Syndicate. Still getting used to me saying that. The Detroit Lions, why does this year feel different? We were 2-2 last year. The difference was we had 2 home games. We split them. This year we go out and we beat the Kansas City Chiefs, albeit by 1, and we lose to Seattle. Yeah, with some questionable calls from the refereeing, but it was some questionable decisions from Dan Campbell. And I'm beginning to feel that this is just our coach. This is our coach. Dan Campbell is who he is. He's not going to change. He's aggressive. I think the Detroit Lions went for it more than any other team on 4th down in the league last year. This is who our coach is. The National Football League is a game of inches. It's a game where you can't make a mistake. You can't have 3 turnovers and win a game. You cannot pass points and win a game, right? What's worse than a field goal? 0 points. I forgot what coach said it. He said 3 points is closer. Kicking a field goal is 3 points closer to a loss, because for every 2 field goals, 1 touchdown, right? And you get the bonus extra point attempt to go up 7. It takes you 2 field goals to make 1 touchdown. And even if the field goal is made, you're still losing, right? But in the case of Dan Campbell, he's kind of going to live and die on that same sword. If he goes for it on 4th down in Kansas City, a fake punt, he does not convert, we on his head, right? He went, it was the best play ever. Everybody was talking about it in a win, but in a good way. We went for it. We didn't get it. Everybody's talking about it. But you know what I'm more upset about, Dan Campbell? We'll get into it in a segment. Injuries are, what's up, Grit? Says, injuries are the Lions' worst enemy. Too early for me to panic, says Mr. Poole. Difference is expectations. Nick, you hit it right on the head. That's exactly right. Yet last year, it was year 2 of a rebuild. Notice, you, me, no pundit, no NFL analyst was saying year 3 of a rebuild. They're saying we're winning the North. They're saying we're hosting a playoff game. We're saying that. And now, after being, you know what the biggest disappointment was this week? Was the fact that we waited 9 months. 9 months after beating KC in their place. We waited 9 months to come home and we lost. We lost. But let's jump into something, okay? We got to talk about the elephant in the room. Might be an elephant literally in this room, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the elephant that is the Detroit Lions defense and one defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn might be a guy that you want to follow into battle. The guy can talk. He's serious. He's stern. He makes you believe. But do we still believe in Aaron Glenn? Have you ever believed in Aaron Glenn? Listen, when we can have all the hope, all the speculation we want, when the product is on the field, that's a different story. And when you have a bottom tier defense yet again after drafting Brian Branch, after you got CJ Gardner-Johnson in free agency, who's not going to be a factor for the rest of this regular season anyway, most likely. But you make some moves. You get Jack Campbell. You take him in the first round, 18th overall. You don't address the defensive line. Okay? There comes a time when somebody got to pay the piper. Now, we talked about it last year, and I'm not going to change my stance. Aubrey Pleasant was a scapegoat, period. See, y'all forgot about that, didn't you? Because we got caught up in the offseason hype. It happens every year. And I'm not saying that the Lions are going to disappoint. What I'm saying is this, is in the offseason, that's what it is, hype. Because we don't have the product on the field. You would assume on paper, because we have better players, that we would have a better defense. And we talked about it in a segment on Monday. Is it scheme? Is it coaching? Is it players? Which one is it? Is it a little bit of both? You know how I feel that we don't have a defensive line. And the defensive line, just like the offensive line, is responsible for how the defense goes overall. You can have somebody like Amani and Jeff in the backfield, and if you have a San Francisco 49ers defensive line, they're going to look better. But Aaron Glenn, when is enough enough? Now, I want to take a poll, informal, in the comment section. And when you watch this video, you're watching this video, I want you to put in the comment section, 2 years and 2 games in, how hot is Aaron Glenn's hot seat? When should we start to turn up the heat? See, last year, Aubrey Pleasant was a scapegoat. I believe that they said, listen, if you read his body language, Dan Campbell, if you listen to what he said we had to do something. Something needed to be done. He didn't say why he was fired. He didn't even say it's because Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill went off on us. He said something needed to be done. Now, the question I pose before you is, when have we had enough of Aaron Glenn? Does Aaron Glenn get fired this year? This is a juicy question. If our defense, okay, you know what? Where should our defense rank to you? We lost CJ Gardner-Johnson. We got Tracy Walker. And if CJ Gardner-Johnson's a 10, Tracy's a 7. Easy, right? Tracy was our starter. Bonzilla says the seat is on fire. Grit says not as hot as it should be. Braylon says very hot seat. Single Dad, what's up? It's both scheme and Brad neglecting our D-line. Okay, let me ask you a question. And this is to the whole chat. This isn't just to one person. If we had any defensive tackle that was either a free agent, that was up for trade, as unrealistic as you think this person was, if we got them a defensive tackle, you're choosing, would you say the same thing? If we had him and or Nick Bosa, would you say the same thing? See, I strongly believe that you wouldn't. If we had a Quinnen Williams, would you say scheme? He's got 2 jobs: get to the pass or stop the run. You can put that brother in, you can scheme whatever you want. That's his job, right? Hutch only played coverage a couple times. And it's weird because both of them times that I remember, he got picks. He probably played sometimes and didn't get picks. To me, it's a little bit of both as well. But for this segment, we're going to focus on Aaron Glenn. The Detroit Lions, you know where their defense is ranked after 2 weeks? 28th. Why is Aaron Glenn, why would you say, okay, let's say if you take the he's safe route. Why? Why are you saying that? Because of how he ended last season? Last season is over. We got better players than we had last season. See, I want to know what my coach is thinking, because I watched this press conference today. And, you know, you ever noticed, like, there's a quality about yourself that you're like, oh, people would think I'm crazy if they knew this about me. Me, I like disrespect. You keep disrespecting me, I feed off of it. I'm like Deion Sanders. I feed off of it. You keep it up. My coach, he loves this. He said it in his press conference today. He loves that everybody's hair is on fire outside the building except theirs. He thrives off that. Okay? I was like, oh, Dan Campbell, I see you, bro. So we got to go out there and we got to win. He's like, I love this. All right? But let me ask you, when is enough for Aaron Glenn? We fired Aubrey Pleasant after week 7 of the 2022 season. From that moment, our defense flipped around. Now, there's a gift and a curse. We go back to Anthony Lynn. Then we took responsibility away from that brother early on. It wasn't working. Now, we had 0 talent. We didn't have any talent. Our offense it's not like it is now. But we snatched it from him, right? Aaron Glenn, he can talk all he wants. When is enough? Passing on Davis and Carter and Parsons, Holmes need to be accountable for this sad defensive line. Tiger says it's way too early to jump on the Aaron Glenn bandwagon. See, I disagree. I think you needed to be on it when the season started. Again, Anthony Lynn was working with scraps, and we fired him. Nicely. Working with scraps. Dan Campbell, like, okay, CJ Gardner-Johnson went down. Next man up. Would you say, and this is not directed toward any one person, would you say that our defense is better than it was last year? Out the gate. Than it was when we ended last year. Would you say our defense is better? Or would you say it's the same, or would you say it's worse? Right? Even with the loss of CJ Gardner-Johnson. Aaron Glenn's seat was on fire when last year ended, because we can't keep having it. You can't get better players, but get worse, right? Everybody, oh, Brian Branch, there's no way he should have been a first round talent. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's hurt now, but he was, what an acquisition he was. Jack Campbell. We got all these guys. The defense has been overhauled, the secondary. He didn't address the defensive line. Now, that doesn't fall on Aaron Glenn. He's not in that decision-making. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But he's not Brad Holmes. That falls on Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. More on Holmes than Campbell. But as far as Aaron Glenn, of course his seat is on fire. You took away Anthony Lynn, it's funny their names rhyme. You took that away, and the brother had nothing to work with. Nothing. He had a golf that wasn't confident. He had scraps. I believe we still had Jelani Tavai, if I'm not mistaken. He had scraps he was working with. But that was on defense. On offense, he had Kaderil Hodge. He had Tyrell Williams. Who did he have? He had DeAndre I Can't Stay Healthy Swift. But yet we're going to give Aaron Glenn time, and he got better pieces to work with. Hattersall says D-line is cheeks, unfortunately. For the defense, 0 pass rush, and our linebackers still can't cover. The secondary is much improved, but it doesn't matter if you don't have a pass rush. Exactly. So you can scheme as much as you need, talent, period. AG probably won't get fired unless we're 2-6. Okay, so as we end this segment, because it ran a little long, put in the comments below. Is it which one is it? Is it our record will dictate if he gets fired? Is it our defensive ranking that will dictate whether he gets fired? Or is it both? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, see me, we got the 28th ranked defense overall, if I'm not mistaken. Ranked number 28. 28. We allowed 20 points. We allowed 37. Well, 31 because of the pick six. Okay, all right, 31. So we allow 51 points on defense. It's funny how people say, which that don't even count. Of course, the defense allowed that. Anyway. I'm not panicking on the season. I just want to know my coach can make the decisions that the hard decisions. Because you go for it all the time, Dan. You go for it. I love Dan Campbell. I don't think he's getting fired. I don't think the seat he's even got hand warmers on it, okay? I think Dan Campbell's going to be here his 6 years. I think Brad will be here 6 years. But we have to see growth. We have to see growth. I think our coach is going to be Mr. Aggressive. Because if it works, he's of the mindset this. If it works, they love me. If it doesn't, they hate me. And we've already established that nor him or Brad Holmes give a care what you think. Me or you or anyone outside of the building. But unlike what has to happen last year, okay, we were able to flip the script. But when it was all said and done, it was a defensive performance or lack thereof that kept us out the playoffs. What do we say after week 1? You cannot leave it to the refs. We overcame the refs in week 1. We didn't last week. We got another flag happy crew. As a matter of fact, shout out to Mr. Poole. This crew here has has one of the refs or the team or whoever, I'm sure they've come and go, that threw the infamous non-face mask on Aaron Rodgers 8 years ago. We have that guy. When there's a reason why these crews are, labeled before we go into the game, flag happy or not, right? I think the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, we had a crew that doesn't throw a ton of flags. They need to bench Jerry Jacobs. Of course they do. What's up, kid? Nice to meet you, my man. You need a profile pic, bro. Shout out to everybody that came to the Kid Rapper came to the watch party. Bro, they want to do it again, man. They want to do it again. They loved us. Dan isn't going anywhere. They will both be getting extensions. Yeah, they're not getting. Nobody said they were. Nobody said they were. We can't let him slide on the offense when the offense is putting up 30 points and still being in one-score games, we lose. Lions not practicing today. David Montgomery, wide receiver St. Brown, Taylor Decker, Vitae, Emmanuel Mosley, and Kirby Joseph. Keep pounding that table, Brad. That's funny, Jeff. We totally going to be seeing Will Harris, and I'm going to just be crying. Wow. You said I'll put one out. We need to get back to playing like the last 10 games of the season. Go back to simplifying things. We should have given Kareem Hunt a phone call right now. Well, Kareem Hunt is now a Cleveland Brown. We saw that coming when Nick Chubb got hurt. Please make Chase Young a Lion. I think we need a true number 2 corner and a defensive line that can pressure the QB. And we've played so soft and had James Houston in coverage. I think we missing pieces, but not great play calling. I don't like Craig Reynolds as the starter. You can't even blame Jerry too much. He had to play against DK and with the line creating no pressures. Well, okay, Hunt. Let's say you're right. Let's say I don't blame Jerry Jacobs, except the fact that he's always been trash. He has, bro. Okay, you know what? If I label Nate Sudfeld as trash, I'm not going to call Jerry trash. He's a trash can. How about that? He's not the trash that goes into the can, but he's the thing that holds it, okay? Let's not act like Jerry is all that. let's not, you know how like the Detroit Lions start winning and they feeling they need to be humbled. The more I'm right, man, the more aggressive I'm going to get. I'm tired of my opinion, being driven through the mud, and I'm right 50% of the time. That's 1 for 1. You know what? I'm up there, bro. I'm right 60, 75% of the time. And I'm not an arrogant person, but I'm tired of talking about the same thing over and over and over. I was talking about a backup quarterback. We finally doubled down on that and got one. I was talking about that with Matt Patricia. Defensive line. Oh, Derek, we don't need a defensive line. Our pass rush is solid. It's so deep. Oh my God, what are you talking about? We don't need Brian Burns. We don't need Quentin Williams. We don't need anybody who costs any money. We are deep at D-line. That's what I heard all offseason. And now y'all are panicking because we don't have nobody. We don't have anybody. And yes, I'm losing my mind because the hype was real and we got time to change it around. We have time to do that, but we also need to stop being cheap. Pay somebody. We have a 3rd round pick who is in street clothes. Why? You didn't trade for Quentin Williams. You didn't try to get Jeffrey Simmons. You didn't try to get Deron Payne. Every one of these guys got franchise tag or got paid because their respective teams wanted to keep them. And what do? We get Broderick Martin. We get a project. Dude. We need a dude, bruh. And I'm tired of talking about it. Check the tape. He's right. What? Shout out to the dono. You mean about Jerry? About Jerry? Oh, he right? I'm right. Jerry Jacobs is whack, bro. He's not a number 2. I don't even know what that meant, but I appreciate it. What about Leonard Fournette? We're not signing him. We have to make our team good and get money. Yeah, Jacobs not playing if Mosley healthy. Detroit owners put Broderick Martin in the lineup. That's all I'm saying, Braylon. That's all I'm saying. We don't need a dude at DT. Okay, Donkey, we need to do something. But why do we always have a person who I've never seen before coming in telling us you tell me what we need. Will you tell me what we need? We went to 5 below. And listen, I'm not being negative. That's not what I'm being. I'm just fed up to hear. I'm fed up to get, because guess what? Everybody's going to, you hear about winning cures everything. You know it doesn't, right? It covers everything. The same deficiencies we had last year, guess what? We got them again on the defensive line. We upgraded at linebacker and defensive backs. Everybody was, I guarantee you, not one of y'all in the comment section or at home, you're sitting and you're listening, you're watching the draft. It's day 3. And you hear dun-dun-dun-dun, ba-da-dun-dun-dun. In the 3rd round, the Detroit Lions select Broderick Martin, defensive tackle from who, where, what, why, how, right? Nobody was expecting that. And then the dude's not playing. We got to figure it out. But these deficiencies don't disappear. We still got holes at DT. Aiden Hutchinson needs some help. But oh, wait a minute. We have Charles Harris to the rescue. Charles, the man Harris, the former flame of a 1st round pick. I'm not the one, bro. I'm not playing anymore. It's time to get a defensive line. Why did Bosa get bread? Because he's a dog. Why did Myles Garrett get bread? Because he's a dog. Why do these people who are not on our team get paid? It's time to get some defense. I've been screaming about it, but oh, wait a minute. Jamison Williams, he's for the future. You remember that? Dude, hold on. I can't hear you. Do you remember that? You remember J-Mo for the future? And listen, this isn't negativity, y'all. Our team can still change it around. I'm just spitting facts. Facts. Oh, J-Mo's for the future. He was the best wide receiver in the draft, while there's still giant holes in our defensive line. And y'all the first ones to be like, we don't need this guy. We're not going to trade for this guy. Well, why not? Why not? We already missed out on Brian Burns, Derek Brown, and somebody else because of Matt Patricia. I told y'all Jeff Okudah was whack, and he is. Come on, man. But Jacobs is what we have for number 2, and I agree with you. You said we do need a DT. If I could have Jalen Carter, Christian Gonzalez, keep Swift. Jordan Davis, that was it. Now, unlike y'all, I'm not a fan of Jalen Carter. I just do not believe that talent trumps off-field character. And I'm sorry. I'm not feeling. But you had opportunities. Now, let's say that you didn't want to pay. Now, if Jalen Carter is the dog y'all think he is, right? He going to get some bread just like the rest of them defensive tackles, right? 4 or 5 years from now. He going to be holding out 4 or 5 years from now, right? So either way, we going to have to pay somebody. Either now or later. Either now or later. As our team gets good. And here's what I don't think y'all realize. This I don't think y'all realize. Do you realize that every good team has 3 or 4 people who are getting the bag on it? Our team is progressing that way. They're going toward a good team. We got to throw the bag to St. Brown. We got to throw the bag to Panay Sewell. Bags are about to be thrown. That's how you keep good players. You keep them on your team. They earned their bag. You keep them. That's how that happens. But nobody wanted to throw the bag at nobody. You know who I would have thrown the bag at? Quentin Williams. I would have thrown the bag at any defensive tackle pretty much. Ed Oliver, give me something. I'll give you a little bit. Maybe not a big bag, a small bag. You know who else? Nick Bosa. I'm throwing everything at him because he's just that good. He's just that good. Deion Sanders got the bag back in his day. He ain't getting nearly what they get now. Listen. I talk about this team every day, and all I hear in my comment section is how I don't know what I'm talking about. How our defensive line is deep. Well, now we don't have one. We have nothing because James D. Problem Houston is now out. Do I think the season's over? No, I'm just tired of talking. I've been doing this for 5 years, saying the same thing over and over and over, from Matt Patricia to now this. Brad Holmes is banging the table for Jamison Williams, same reaction. Aiden Hutchinson, same reaction. We need to shore up this defense. It's time to overhaul. We've already done it in the second. Now it's time to get that defensive line. Hey, look, I see a big tray. I'm leaving here with something. That's all I'm saying. I see a big tray. I'm leaving here with something. It's time for us to leave here with something. And that something is a defensive line. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm tired. And then from the fan base, we don't want to spend any money. You're trying to cripple the team. No. How about you draft Trey Lance and then you trade him away? How about you draft Justin Fields? You have an opportunity to take a quarterback and you decide not to. And now he's looking horrific. How do you keep good players? You pay them. You pay them. St. Brown is a good player. We're about to pay him. Y'all be acting like, what is this? What are we paying with? Is this monopoly money here? This is real money. And to get real good players, to keep them on your team, to keep your team good, you have to draft well as pay good players. And it's time, Brad. We've had enough of the hand-me-downs. I'm tired, y'all. I love John Kaminsky. I love Isaiah Buggs. Put them out there. I'm tired of the hand-me-downs, y'all. It's time to go and get some stuff with the tags on it, bro. I know I ain't the only one that feel like this. I know I'm not. But anyway, hey, question. What would you give up someone a second and first? How far? Okay, Ed, what are we talking about, bro? I'm with you saying they need a defense line in last 3 drafts, but what do we do now? Jeff, what do we do now? What do we do now? Is that what you meant? What do we do now? We make some moves. Are we going to get a DT and a DE? Probably not. And if we do, we're going to get somebody like, I don't know, Christian Covington. Are we going to do something like that? All right. You got Isaiah Buggs. Right now, this is what I'm doing. Y'all want to know the truth? As a matter of fact, let's make this a segment. All right, so we are talking about the defensive line. You have to make a choice. Are you taking a DT or a DE? All right. I'm going to tell you my thoughts. My thoughts is I'm taking a DE. Why? Because you have Isaiah Buggs. You've got guys in the middle, and you got a 3rd round pick that you traded up to get who is in street clothes. So put him in. Put the big boy in. Put him in, and you get Hutchinson some help on the outside. Because you invested in your D-line, right? You invested by drafting a 3rd round defensive tackle. So now, but them edges is thin, bro. We got Romeo, Julian, where art thou? Neither one of them are there. It is time to get Aiden some help because he's gassed out there. He's gassed. Put that big boy in the middle. Let him play. And you get Hutch. You cave in those outsides. That's where I'm at. So what do we do now to fix this defense? What do we do now? We stop shopping at Dollar General. Brad is on the phone with somebody. He on the phone with somebody. Grit says, what's in free agency is only there because they're on the wrong side of 30, but can still create pressure. I'm sure there's a couple. It might be. I haven't looked. I haven't looked. But that's what we used to doing. That's what we're used to doing, right? Brad Holmes said that we can compete this year. He's ready to compete. You know what competitors do? People who are ready to compete, they're buyers at the trade deadline. Last year, we were sellers. It worked out. TJ Hawkinson wanted a big contract. We didn't give it to him. He got the biggest contract in tight end history in the NFL. We weren't about to do that for him. Not for him. But it's going to have to be done to somebody. To somebody. If you look at the top 4 teams in the NFL right now, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, you got the Philadelphia Eagles, you got the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll throw in, I don't know, who else? One other team. They all got people getting paid on their team. That's how you keep a good team. So for me, I'm taking a DE over a DT because we invested in the DT in the draft. Matter of fact, we gave up draft capital for a project DT. So put them out there. Let them get some schoolwork in. Let them get some work. What are we doing here? This is our year. There's no way, and you know I'm right. I'll get to you in a minute, Loss. You know I'm right? Aaron Rodgers is gone. There's no way we lose to Jordan Love. There's no way. Kirk Cousins, he's playing well, but the rest of his team ain't outside of Justin Jefferson. There's no way. They won 11 one-score games last year. 11-0 in one-score games. There's no way. And there's no way the Chicago Bears should threaten anybody outside of Chicago. This is our year, and we are not giving it away. So make something happen. And have I lost patience? No. Have I given up? No. I'm just tired. I'm tired. Aaron Glenn and all that preaching you doing. Brad Holmes, for as good as you are, it's time to get a D-line. It's time. If you think about it, he's invested in Levi Onwuzurike. I forgot all about him. Josh Pascal, where you at? You're on IR, buddy. Right? But we want to build through the draft. We ain't paying none of them. None of them getting paid right now. So go out and get somebody that's already proven. That's the thing I be trying to get through to y'all. Okay, it's okay to build through the draft. But if we draft right, those players are going to get paid. Why take a chance on that guy? For instance, for me, go get Brian Burns. Go get Brian Burns today. What are we waiting on? I don't care. What Carolina doesn't want. We ain't talking about Carolina. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions. Let me hear that Brad Holmes was on the phone talking to Tepper, whatever his name is. Hey, listen, man, what can we do? Here's my thought. This is my thought. I've always believed this. The Detroit Lions, they wanted Will Anderson Jr. That's who they wanted. They were going to try, hoping he fell to 6. He wasn't. They wanted to come up, but the price was just too high. Brad was like, I can't do it. A lot of y'all think he wanted Devin Witherspoon. I told you from the very beginning, it was never, ever, forever, ever, Jalen Carter, and it wasn't. We had an opportunity, we passed him. Who we didn't have an opportunity at was Will Anderson Jr. Then we take Jahmyr Gibbs. We trade back. We take Jahmyr Gibbs. We pound in the table. I'm cool. Jameer's a dog. He going to be straight. Give him his chances. He going to be good. Defensive, we wanted Will Anderson Jr. That is my honest belief. Maybe he tried this year. And then what he did was he settled for Broderick, the Project Martin. We got the problem and the project. I'm tired, y'all. Like I said, I haven't given up. I haven't thrown in a towel. I'm not wavering or wishy-washing. I'm just speaking my mind. And what I'm ready to see, y'all, is dominance. I'm ready to see the defensive line dominate other offensive lines. I'm ready to see the San Francisco 49ers. Gone are the days of Matt Patricia and Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins and those guys. We got a dude that knows what he's doing in the draft in some regard, right? In others, it don't seem like that. It doesn't seem like he knows how to trade for a wide receiver. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing on the defensive line. Because again, like I said earlier, nobody in here was like, Broderick Martin, he's a stud. He's a beast. He's a beast. The dude didn't even know he was getting drafted. He had to run down the stairs because he didn't even think he was going in the 3rd round, right? I'm not saying he can't be great. I'm saying, why wait to be great? Put that on a shirt, bro. Somebody trademark that. Somebody send me a shirt. Why wait to be great when you can be great now by getting Brian Burns? Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. I'm not saying forget them picks like the LA Rams. I'm saying it's time to get difference makers on this team. We've had enough Project Dollar Store people. It's time. And I love all these guys. I love them. I love them. Great stories. All of them. But it's ready. It's time to write a different story. A story of we're trying to win while maintaining the integrity of our team. Yes, Kareem Hunt is not. He is a Cleveland Brown. We all saw that coming. We could have gotten, but slept. Wouldn't have to give up anything. Brett, what's his name? Matt Patricia had a chance to get Brian Burns. You know who he took? TJ Hawkinson. We had a chance to get Derek Brown. You know who he took? Jeff Okudah. So there's a possibility we're not even having this conversation. But we are. And we need to. Would we give up the next year's first to get a game changer next to Hutch? Me, Ed? Yes, I would. I would give up 2024 first round pick for Brian Burns, 25 years old. Coming off a 12.5 sack career, gives Hutch some help. Maybe we're not close enough to trade back up into the first. But you know Brad doing something, right? He leaving here with something. So maybe we don't. But St. Brown came in the fourth. Kirby Joseph came in the third. We can get diamonds in the rough, right? Y'all favorite line of all time, James the Problem Houston, came in the sixth round, right? Brian Branch fell to the second. You don't know what the NFL draft got in store. Maybe we get a first round talent in the second round again and trade up. Our offense is set. Our offense is set minus a wide receiver or two. We got Jahmyr Gibbs for years to come. We got David Montgomery for the next 2 years. We might need a tackle here and there. We got to get some receivers, but we got our tight end, right? Free agency coming up. See, it ain't all through the draft. That's why free agency is first. Mike Evans, free agent, potentially. Go get him. You're going to have to pay some money, Brad. It's time, right? You tell me, why would we be excited if we got Mike Evans? Why would we be excited if we got him? Or anybody who can make a difference, because they can make a difference. We know what we're getting, and we know what we have coming to our team. All I'm saying, y'all, is it's time. It's time. The problem is Holmes trying to build a line with Project Cowboys, Eagles, and defensive Niners getting first round talent. I can't deny that. Okay, so let's look at our 2022 draft, right? As you can see, this is therapy. One of the reasons I wanted to do this show is for therapy, because I need it. I need some therapy. If we get big enough, maybe we'll open the phone lines. The problem to me is the Lions don't score enough points. Lions didn't score until the end of the fourth quarter. Water can't win like that. Okay, Giz. Lions currently have like the 10th offense in the league. They scored enough points to win last week or week 1, right? We scored a bunch of points against Seattle last year, and we lost because our defense didn't force a single punt. You know what else I want to talk about too? I'm sorry, y'all. This is supposed to be a two-way street, but today it's kind of all me. I'm sorry. You know, I did a play breakdown because I'm not a film breakdown guy. I'm not calling A gaps and blitzes and cover twos and quarter zones and all that. That's not what I do, right? But one thing I do know, and I do, is I know a good thing when you see it. You know how they say, what's that song? I think it was Janet Jackson did it. It was like, oh no, you seem to go, but you don't know what you've got till it's gone. You know who that person is for me? Jared Thomas Goff. Jared Thomas Goff. Listen. I did a breakdown yesterday, and we talked about Jared Goff, and I said he didn't get hit because of Matt Nelson's terrible blocking. Y'all said he did get hit, and I'm like, okay, it didn't look like that to me. He said it was his fault. Jahmyr Gibbs said it was his fault. Okay, it led to a pick six, and that was a difference in the game. Wouldn't you know? Nobody's going to talk about David Montgomery's fumble. Nobody's going to talk about Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down. Nobody's going to talk about Dan Campbell's conservative play calling to win the game. Okay, we're going to talk about Jared Thomas Goff. Jared Thomas Goff is a value. He's not a value quarterback. He's a value to have. And I swear, y'all just don't get it. You know he could have? I remember back in 21. Let's go back, shall we? Shall we go back in time? How far are we going back, Derek? I don't know, just 2021. There's a quarterback. We had the 7th overall pick in 2021. There's a quarterback. He comes from Ohio State. His name is Justin Fields. As a matter of fact, he's my cousin. He's my cousin. Y'all ain't know that. We share the same last name. So I assume that we're related. Justin Fields. We should have taken Justin Fields. Jared Goff didn't take a single snap as Detroit Lions quarterback, but we should have taken Justin Fields or a quarterback. And last year was the same thing. Rinse, repeat, take these guys. This year is the same thing. Everybody's trying to give us a quarterback. Jared Goff just threw 300 plus passes, currently has the 3rd longest streak in the NFL behind, what's his name? Aaron Rodgers and one other person of consecutive passes without an interception. He throws one that may or may not have been his fault. And y'all ready to send him packing. Lions fans, be careful what you wish for. Now, we have Hendon Hooker. Very, very good. Hendon Hooker is a rookie. He's a rookie. Not to say that he can't ball. We got somebody already. His name is Jared Thomas Goff. Let the man play. Put the assets around him. And for God, everything that's good, give him a defense. Do it and see where this man can take you. I'm not a Goff truther or a window licker or whatever other name you have for people who value Jared Goff, because we should. We really, really should. We really should. Baker Mayfield, which one would you rather have, him over Goff? Deshaun Watson, the guy that I once said I would take over Jared Goff, is what happened to him. No, don't do it in the comment section. We keep this a family show. I leave all that off the field stuff out of. I'm talking about on the field. You don't value what you have till it's gone. Give the man a defense. Give him a guy that's drafted in the 1st round that has hands, that can catch the ball. All that speed mean nothing if it's bobbing off your hands, if you can't bring it in. Give Jared Goff something to work with. You said you were going to do it. And for the fans watching this, God, get over Stafford. He's gone. Let him go. He didn't do nothing while we was here. And guess what? You blamed everybody but him. But Jared Goff fumbles all the time. He's a turnover machine. We don't put it on Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, or nobody else. But Matthew Stafford, it was never his fault, now was it? Y'all follow him to the the Detroit Rams Super Bowl. I don't care how you feel about Stafford. Appreciate the guy that you have, because who said it? Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell? I don't remember. Somebody said it. It's easier to get worse at quarterback than better. We have a decent quarterback. Matter of fact, he's better than decent. He's legit. Let the man play, because it could get ugly real quick. You know who made a mistake? The Chicago Bears. You got the 1st round. I don't even care if it was Bryce Young. You had your pick of the litter when it came to quarterbacks, and you stuck with a worse Lamar Jackson. He has a better arm to me than Lamar, but he can't throw. Y'all should see some of the plays involving Justin Fields over this past week. Appreciate it, Lions fans, because it could get worse. It could get real ugly. And there might come a time when you miss having Jared Goff. I'm just saying. I've never seen a fan base purposely find anything wrong with anybody ever except Jared Goff. I heard in my video that Jared Goff has trouble with speedy receivers. He had Brandon Cooks on his team. Did just fine. Could it be that his two speedy receivers, a running back / receiver, and a receiver that got suspended for gambling. Could it be that they just haven't had enough time to work together? Could it be that? Could it be that Matt Nelson hit him, or Matt Nelson whiffed on this block? Could it be that it was the fault of the receiver / running back? Whatever it is, I have never seen somebody nitpick a player on the team as much as I've seen the Detroit Lions fan base nitpick Jared Goff. I genuinely don't know what more he can do for y'all. I have no idea. Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl. Oh, he should have put up more points. He shouldn't have had an incompletion. He goes 40, 39 or 40 with 5 touchdowns. We have a Super Bowl blowout. And he missed that pass. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired. We got a long way to go. Haven't turned on this team. Haven't turned on this fan base. But I am tired of us not appreciating what we have. It's time. All right? Because what we don't have is a defensive line. But that was another segment. Free Joe Dre. What's up, 1021? Says, free J-Mo, make sure you grab your shirt. We still got some. Absolutely. 1021, put the link in the description, bro. I'll pin the comment. It should be there because it's not in the description of this channel. As you can see, y'all, I had some stuff I need to get off my chest. I really did. And I'm sorry that I haven't read the comment section much today. I should. This show is more for y'all than it is me. Just says I have to wait till the end of the season. For what? You know what, 10? Hey, 10, I need you to do me a favor, bro. Come up with a concept for Jared Goff. If you don't mind. I'll try and get them boys sold. Some type of concept, bro. Same concept that we did with Jamison Williams with other players, bro. And I'll try to push them things out. I need a golf shirt. I need a golf shirt. Glad we got Goff before Goff came. Detroit, we still had Blau and Boyle. We need all the help we can get for real. Okay, so you need to wait till the end of the season. Okay, Jizz, I respect that. Are you going to give Aaron Glenn to the rest of the season? Okay. I like it, bro. We were all in. The DB shut down cornerbacks. We signed free agents. Okay, so Jizz, does Aaron Glenn get the same type of treatment? Do you need to wait till the end of the season for Aaron Glenn? I'm specifically waiting. Okay, so what do you want to see? Why does Goff, who's done more than Aaron Glenn in the same amount of time, why do you have more? And this ain't no beef, bro. I'm trying to really reason with you. Why is Goff less on less of a leash than Aaron Glenn? That's I just want to know. Sutton has been solid. Yes, he has. You know, I think what happened, this is what I think happened. I think what happened is like the offseason caught up to me because you see things that you think the team needs, right? And sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. You're like, man, we need defense. And I have my thoughts. I don't think Witherspoon was ever the pick. I think it was, I don't think it was ever Witherspoon or Carter, but I will say that it could have been Witherspoon. It could have been. Maybe they thought he was going to fall to 6. He went at 5. It could have been. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I don't believe it was. I believe they had one target in the first round. His name was, as far as one player to pick first. I take that back. One player to pick first. His name was Will Anderson Jr. That's opposite Hutch. Now you got Brian Burns and Chase Young all into one. And I think we build off him and Hutch. That's what I think. The rest of the draft could have happened however it happened. Maybe at that point, we don't get Jack Campbell. Maybe at that point, we don't get Sam Laporta in the second round. Or, I don't know, Brian Branch. Who knows how the draft would have went. We wait. We hope, we trust. And you think you know, but you don't think you know better than the guys in the room, right? You just, from a fan perspective, you think you have some idea. Defense, bad. Players, fix. Good players, dominate, right? Just like 2 + 2 = 4. paying people money does not guarantee that they're going to ball for you. But typically, if you're smart and you don't give Trey Flowers $90 million and his career sacks are 7.5, you would think that that person is going to deliver, right? Now we get to inside the season. We got Brian Branch. I mean, he made some moves. He got Jack Campbell, who's not playing that much, by the way. We got Brian Branch, who shouldn't have never been in the second round. We got pieces. In free agency, we went and got CJ Gardner-Johnson, which is irrelevant at this point when it comes to on-the-field play. He still can help the team off the field, chirping at him, yapping at him, encouraging him, whatever. But his on the field, now we got Tracy Walker. So we're essentially with him where we were last year. And you want to believe that this team is going to be better because you have better pieces. And the trajectory of this team is not as bad as last year, but it's bad. And do we have to get in a 1-6 hole in order to make changes? If we have to make changes, if we fire Aaron Glenn mid-season and we promote somebody to the defensive coordinator, or maybe Dan Campbell, I don't know, somebody started calling defensive coordinator play calls. Who is that going to be? Is it really going to help? We fired Aubrey Pleasant. We didn't fire Anthony Lynn mid-season. We didn't renew his contract. Aaron Glenn. What do? Y'all do realize this could be the last year we have I'm sorry. Oh my God. We have Ben Johnson. I was going to say Aaron Johnson. This is the last year we could have Ben Johnson. This could be it. And we can't blow this. That's why I feel like we need to go get Brian Burns. I'm not saying forget them picks. I'm not saying throw the farm. I'm saying make rational decisions. If that is Chase Young, then go get him. Because y'all must admit that almost anyone at this point will be better than what we currently have at defensive end. I wanted Jordan Davis. We took J-Mo. Our offense and coaches spotted them 14 points. So why put so much on the defense? Because the defense is still 28 in the league. They gave up almost 400 yards. That had nothing to do with the spotted points. That's what I'm saying. I guess I'm looking at it different from y'all. I'm looking at middle of the field wide open. I'm looking at the fact that there's no pressure on any quarterback. Oh, I'm sorry. There is some pressure. Aiden Hutchinson has most of it. There's one sack by a linebacker on a busted play. There's nobody in this chat that can tell me with a straight face that you thought we were going to have no defensive lineman sacks in 2 games. Not even the poster boy, Aiden Hutchinson, who got 2.5, right, in game 2, albeit he was facing the quarterback of 2022 who held the ball longer than any quarterback in the National Football League. Does that mean that I think Hutchinson is not as good? That's not what I think that means. I think he needs some help. So I'm talking about total defense. I'm not talking about spotted points. I'm not looking at points so much as I'm looking at total yards. That's what I'm talking about. They drove down the field darn near every possession. Our defense definitely deserves some pressures. John Doe says 2 years and Ben Johnson about to leave us. I can see that. Because if we're not as hot as we were last year, then will they want him? I feel like they will. You know who's got an interview every year he's been here? Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, the man of the hour. He's got an interview, I want to say every year he was here. Why would our offensive coordinator, who got an interview after 1 year of being our OC, not get one this year? Lions right now are in He passed up on Micah Parsons for Penei Sewell, right? I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I'd say Parsons seems to be a little bit of a troublemaker, but you can't deny what he is on the field. He's also a troublemaker on the field. So I don't know if I feel bad about that. And Carter, y'all know how I feel about that. Jordan Davis, I don't know. What I do know is Brad Holmes has the power to do something. He needs to be a buyer at the trade deadline. He said it himself. We're trying to compete this year. And if you don't feel like you can compete with what you currently have, you need to get stuff that you can. With that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all. We've hit our hour. I promise on Friday I'll feel better and we'll talk more in the chat. This wound up being a session more about me, but I had to get it out. It's been a tough 2 days, but I appreciate y'all and I will see you next time. Let me find this so I can